Hey gang, it's me, your Uncle Todd here. And tonight, we're looking at a biker movie, Werewolves on Wheels. Now, it's a very low-budget film. They actually filmed a lot of it without permits, like in the Ed Wood movie. Also, there's actually some known actors in it. The lead, as the biker chief Adam, is Steve Oliver, who was best known for his role on Peyton Place, the TV show. One of the bikers is played by Billy Gray, who was on Father's Knows Best. And the leader of the satanic cult is Severin Darden, best known for being in the last two of the original Planet of the Apes movies, Conquest of the Planet of the Apes and Battle for the Planet of the Apes. Now, the film starts with the biker gang known as the Devil's Advocates. Wonder who they're based on. Anyway, we get introduced to the gang as they drive along. One of the bikers gets knocked off his bike by a pickup truck, and they follow him to a gas station and met out their own justice and terrorize the gas station attendant. After that, driving around, they get bored when the mystical member of the group, Tarot, because he reads tarot cards, he talks them into going to this old abandoned-looking monastery. And while hanging out there, they meet some monks who are very generous.
Oh, goody. Oh, man. That's nice of you, freak.
No surprise. The wine turns out to be drugged, and they all pass out. The monks then abscond. Well, since it's at the monastery, they're not really absconding, I guess. But they take Adam's biker mama, Helen, and prepare a ceremony with her.
Come to offer you youth and fresh blood. We must begin in blood so that we may end in blood.
Luckily, Adam and some of the guys wake up, notice she's gone, and they storm the monastery, rescuing her. Making good their escape, they decide to head out into the desert to clear their heads, thinking this is all behind them. No. Later that night, while Helen and Adam are fooling around, the inexplicable happens.
What are you doing? Come on now.
Later that night, something kills two of the bikers, or I should say a biker and his old lady, who have gone off to be alone.
To me, you better slow down, Shirley. I'm running out of gas.
Next morning, the bodies are found, and the obvious explanation: they were drunk, ran off a cliff, and coyotes must have got at them after they died. So they bury them, and they drive on. Rather depressed at this point, but you know. Then they come to I should say after another incident with another gas station attendant. This one played mostly for laughs. They come upon a large group of junker cars just out in the middle of the desert, as they will. And they decide to camp there and do the usual things that bikers do. Drink, smoke, fool around with some girls in the back of a van that they have for just such an emergency, and apparently rolled downhill in bear hugs.
Come on. Just like in Florida, baby. Couple teddy bears rolling down the mountain.
Hey, man, come on.
I'm gonna have to ask my brother about that. He was in a biker club. He had the patches and everything. I have to ask him how often that happens. I'm thinking not often. Well, they set a huge bonfire. They set the cars on fire. And they set up guards. But as you saw in the clip at the beginning, the guard and one of the other girls got killed, and they were thrown into the bonfire. Wow, this really upsets everyone. They know it's got to have something to do with the monks. So they head out to go back to the monastery and give them what for. And then they are suddenly transported to a barren wasteland in the middle of who knows.
Wow! Hey, Adam. Hey, what are we gonna do now, man?
What's the plan, Adam? I want to find out where the hell we are.
After getting everyone back together and finding a road, they try to get back to something they recognize, but some of the tensions are flowing over between Adam and, of course, Taro, who everybody's starting to blame for all this, which leads to the inevitable. Later that night, after building a campfire, we get another full moon, and Adam and Helen change in front of everyone. Working together, Helen is rather gruesomely dispatched. Finally, after almost an hour and a half, we get what we were promised in the title. Adam jumps on a motorcycle and rides off as a werewolf, chased by the other gang members as a torch-wielding mob. That was kind of a letdown. Anyway, the rest of the gang, now being led by Taro, make it back to the monastery. And things don't go the way they thought they would. And as the credits roll, the now lycanthropic motor gang speeds down the highway to spread evil. This film is probably better liked just for its title than the actual content. There's a lot of filler in it. A lot of long, drawn-out scenes of the gang just doing stuff. When they're in the place with the all the junker cars, there's lots of footage of them tipping over cars and damaging cars, and they find an old abandoned movie camera, and then they pretend they're making car commercials and things, and that kind of stuff. It just goes on, and a lot of it has really nothing to do with the film. It's one of the reasons this episode is kind of shorter than most, because there's just not a lot that happens in it. There's a lot of scenes of them driving with the, admittedly, really cool soundtrack playing underneath. Kudos to Don Gear for that. But I do have a soft spot in my heart for it. The werewolf effects are pretty decent. You don't get to see a real change like you would in a bigger budgeted movie, but the full werewolf looks pretty good. A little disappointed that the werewolf actually on a motorcycle is maybe 20 to 45 seconds at best. And a lot of the acting is done by amateurs. According to IMDb, like the gas station attendant they meet in the middle of the desert, that was just a local they talked into being in the film. A lot of the monks were played by some hippies at a local commune. And most of the bikers were stuntmen. So, make of that what you will. But I do kind of like this film. And I can't really say anything bad about it. It's a little disappointing, but it's also so goofy you can't really get mad at it. Well, that's all I have to say about this one. Please hit like, share, and subscribe. And stay after for my favorite scene.